Hey, today is Monday. Is it January 21st? I can't remember. I was just thinking today, I was wondering if I should try to go back to doing my volunteer work again. For those of you who don't know, I haven't worked in like 3 years because of some physical and psychological medical issues. And last year I did some work doing hospice care. Not really care, it's I can't remember the name for it, but because there's a term for it. It's a person that spends time with somebody who's like in their last 6 months of life. But there's a specific name for the person who does that. So I was doing that last year, but I started having problems with my anxiety was getting bad. Like I was starting to have anxiety attacks again. I think it was because at one point I was up to having 3 patients, and I would try to do them all on the same day because they were at the same facility. Like I would go once a week, and I think that was getting too much for me to have them all one right after the other, because I didn't get any time to myself in between, like to try and calm down. I don't know how to explain it. I wasn't having a problem with doing the hospice care. It was my anxiety I was having problems with. Because I've done hospice work before. First I was a nursing assistant in a nursing home. That was back in my 20s. In case you don't know, I'm in my late 40s. In my 20s, I was a nursing assistant. Well, and in my late teens and my early 20s, I was a nursing assistant. And then I worked for about 2 years at a facility for teenagers and young adults with Down syndrome. The reason I keep looking back and forth is I'm waiting for somebody to come out. I'm picking somebody up. So I worked with teenagers and young adults with Down syndrome for about 2 years. Then the place I was working through, we lost our contract. So after that I did hospice care, and it was kind of like being a nursing assistant, but I was sent by an agency, so I would go to different people's homes, and I did nursing assistant type stuff. Like I would clean the person, help them get dressed, bathe them, dress them, talk to them, of course. I have lots of wonderful stories from that time. Well, there's bad stories too, but I met some incredible people. Not always incredible families, though, unfortunately. Different people have different ways of dealing with death, and some people just try to ignore it completely, and it becomes a very lonely time for the person that's dying when the family reacts that way. So anyway, I'm thinking about calling my supervisor from the volunteer place and talking to her and seeing maybe I could try coming back with just 1 or 2 patients for a while and see how I do, I don't know. It's hard because I don't want people to become dependent on me. They're only dependent on you for up to 6 months, so but sometimes there's family care afterwards. There's follow-up care. And yeah, I don't know. I have to talk to her, I think. Because I need to do I need to have something to do. I miss working, honestly. I have to tell you that I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in the U.S., they make it really difficult. First of all, I worked doing payroll, and my last 2 jobs were payroll and accounting, like accounts receivable. So I did a lot of work with numbers, and there were deadlines, there were constant deadlines, and it's kind of stressful, but I really enjoyed that kind of work and meeting different people. Like, I really enjoyed doing payroll, and I changed a lot of the practices at the place I work, which I've recently found out have gotten changed back, so whatever. Not for the better, believe me. But it was a very satisfying job for me, but then my medical issues were getting worse, and it was getting harder and harder for me to work. I had to keep leaving, calling out, leaving early. I finally got to the point where I couldn't work, and I spent like over 2 years trying to get disability, which I was not able to get. I've worked since I was 15 years old. Well, I've worked for companies since I was 15 years old. Before that, I did babysitting and snow shoveling, you know. So I can't do any of that stuff now. I can't even be a dog walker. My arthritis is too bad for stuff like that. So, yeah, like you work your whole life and then you try and get disability. And it's like, first of all, I don't want disability. I want to be able to work, honestly. But me taking that volunteer job was a way for me to try out working, and it didn't end up working out well. But I still want to try again. But still, what I was saying is that you spend your whole life working and you really want to work, and then you can't. So then you're at home and you feel useless, or I feel useless, even though I do what I can, you know. I push myself to do what I can, you know. And if you want disability, you have to beg for it. You basically have to beg for it. You have to tell your story like a million times. You have to see your doctors. You have to see the government's doctors. Then somebody comes in with this giant book with all these numbers in it, and they look through it and they find one job that they say you can do, a job that doesn't exist. In my case, I don't know where it exists. And so because of that, you don't get disability. I could do another, I think I could sue if I wanted to, which I don't want to do. I mean, it's ridiculous. Why should you have to go through this nonsense? So I guess I gotta live off my husband for the rest of my life, you know? I mean, it sounds like a stupid problem because, you know, yes, we can exist with just his income unless something happens to him, but things like when you buy a house, it's based on both of the people's income. It was definitely based on both of our income. And the things you pay for each month is based on both of your income, and then you don't have that income anymore. Ugh, I don't know if I'm doing a poor me thing, because I don't want to do that, you know. Anyway, the long and short of it is that I'm thinking of trying to do my volunteer work again, so I'll let you know if I talk to the lady or not. We didn't eat yet. It's like wait a minute, what time is it? It's 7:40 p.m. right now, and I'm waiting for my boarder to get out of work. And then Bob is gonna make frozen pizza for dinner. Bobby cleaned the kitchen last night, and it's really nice. Oh, I should tell you, this thing happened was it yesterday? We were getting ready to go to the diner, and we're getting into the car, and this group of girls and a woman with a wagon pull up the driveway. And the one girl's got like a sign on that is shaped like a cookie, and we're selling Girl Scout cookies, you know. So I'm going to turn the heater off. So they were selling Girl Scout cookies, and my husband was talking to them and saying which cookies we wanted. Like he wanted Do-si-dos, which they don't call them that anymore. I guess they're peanut butter sandwich cookies. And I wanted the Thin Mint, so they got that. So we got that. And nobody was left at home when we left the house. Well, I think my youngest son was home, but he was still in bed. And when we got back, there was a banana peel in our driveway, like a black banana peel. Like, we don't know where it came from. I mean, we have bananas, but they're all yellow. Like, how would a banana peel get there while we were gone? We're trying to figure out this. Where did the banana peel come from? So my youngest son's girlfriend said maybe a bird had it and dropped it over the driveway. I don't know. We like come up with all these different stories of where this banana peel came from. Or, oh, my youngest son's like, oh, maybe we got to find out. We got to figure out if somebody was trying to trip somebody. Like he wants to CSI the whole thing, you know. There's clues. Who were they trying to trip? Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's Monday night and it went up to 50s today. I think I'm going to go now, but I hope you're having a good day and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.